Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Seth Said It Show. I am your host, Seth Mills. Before we jump in today, I would just like to say that we are on the road and I am using my mobile setup for the first time ever to go ahead and capture this video and this audio. So if it does not sound like normal, it will be back to what I am used to uploading and working with next week. Anyways, guys, I've been thinking about this topic a lot lately because honestly, I think accountability is disappearing in our generation, like genuinely disappearing. And I know that everybody's going to hear accountability and everybody immediately thinks that somebody's about to preach or act morally superior or whatever, but that's not what this is. I'm just simply talking about the fact that nobody wants to admit when they're wrong anymore. Everybody wants understanding, everybody wants sympathy, everybody wants grace, but the second that you hold somebody accountable for literally anything, suddenly you are the bad guy. And to me, it's weird because we live in the most emotionally aware generation ever, supposedly. And yet, nobody can handle honesty. Everybody talks about healing and growth and self awareness online, but in real life, people avoid responsibility and treat it kind of like it's a disease. And I'm not excluding myself from this either because I've had moments in life where I blamed everything that was going on except myself. Relationships, business decisions, stress, timing, other people. It's easy to blame anything and do all of that. It's way harder to sit there and go, yeah, I probably handled that terribly and I probably could have handled that better. Uh, it's just uncomfortable. And honestly, I think that that's why so many people stay stuck now is because they are. What I guess the best way to put this is that I've noticed that everybody is the victim now, and obviously, real victims do exist before anybody clips this out of context. But I'm talking about everyday like stuff, uh, breakups, friendships, jobs, drama, situationships, whatever it is. Nobody ever says, "Yeah, I caused that." It's either they were toxic, they were not narcissistic, they were manipulative, they were jealous, they were insecure. Like, damn, apparently nobody in society has ever been wrong themselves. And social media made this so much worse because now everybody has therapy buzzwords. Somebody tells you that you're hurt or that you hurt their feelings, and suddenly they're gaslighting you. Or somebody calls you out for bad behavior, and now they're messing with your peace. And for those listening on the podcast platforms, you can't see my air quotations, but they're there and they're very heavy on all of these. And in my opinion, maybe you just don't like hearing the truth. And that's the thing that nobody wants to hear because sometimes accountability feels like disrespect when your ego is involved. I'll be the first person to tell you, I'm not the perfect person whatsoever. We all blame things on everybody. But you're also not always the victim because if somebody starts pointing out something about you that's true and you know it's true, it stings worse and you get hurt and then you get very very defensive quickly. And I've noticed people would rather destroy a friendship than admit fault, which to me it's crazy. And another reason that accountability disappeared is because everybody's a brand now. Nobody's authentic anymore. People post quotes about loyalty while lying to everybody around them. People repost mental health awareness posts while emotionally destroying people in private. People will tweet good vibes and then create chaos literally everywhere they go. And the scariest part about it, to me anyway, is I think people are starting to believe their own internet version of themselves, the bullshit version. Because online you can control the narrative. You can post a sad quote and suddenly everybody's validating you without knowing what actually happened or what even you posted that for. Nobody posts, yeah, I cheated. Yeah, I lied. Yeah, I handled that immaturely. Or, yeah, I ignored every red flag possible. Which, believe me, I have ignored plenty of red flags in my life. A lot of them, more recent than others. Um, everybody's a motivational speaker online and a disaster behind closed doors. I can personally attest to this. I've been an emotional or a motivational speaker through my podcast, through my social medias, through what I post. And there's been times where my life has been a disaster behind closed doors. And everybody around me knows whenever that's going on. And it's things that we have to take accountability for, but we can also still motivate others through it. And honestly, I think that that's why so many people are mentally exhausted. Trying to maintain an image is exhausting, but or while being real is easier. And that's why I switched the direction of my podcast many months ago. And don't even get me started on relationships. Relationships are cooked right now. Dating is honestly insane. People want loyalty while keeping backups. People want honesty while hiding half the story. People want effort while giving the bare minimum, and nobody communicates anymore. Everybody plays these weird little chess games trying to avoid looking too interested. Like, people would seriously rather lose somebody than look vulnerable for 5 seconds. And then when things fall apart, nobody owns their own part in it. And to me, that's the biggest thing. Everybody explains why they did something instead of just admitting it was wrong. There's a difference. You can explain behavior without excusing it. That's, in my opinion, mature. Like, cool, maybe you were hurt before. Maybe somebody cheated on you. Maybe somebody lied to you. That still doesn't give you a free pass to destroy the next person you end up with. And I think our generation has normalized dysfunction so much that healthy communication actually feels weird now. Consistency feels boring to people addicted to chaos. And that's why toxic relationships keep repeating. People say they want peace, but chase intensity. They chase the toxic. They chase everything you shouldn't chase. And discipline's almost offensive now. And this one's going to sound harsh, but I don't care. I think that discipline offends people now. If somebody wakes up early, goes to the gym, builds something, stays focused, avoids drama, people immediately start trying to humble them. And I think it's because discipline forces self reflection. It forces these people, when they see somebody who's disciplined, to look on themselves and see everything that's wrong with themselves, everything that's going on that they cannot control or even can control, but they're not doing. Because again, to go on to that, because seeing somebody else stay consistent reminds people of what they aren't doing. And look, life's hard. Everybody struggles. There's also people who romanticize having no control over their own life. Go look at people's TikTok reposts, their social media life, the things that they post. They're romanticizing their lives without having control. Like being unstable, becoming a personality trait. People are bragging about never sleeping, being toxic, ghosting people, ignoring texts, ruining relationships, making impulsive decisions. Like, congratulations, I guess. And then they wonder why everything around them keeps collapsing. Your habits become your reality eventually. And nobody wants to hear that because it removes excuses. Accountability actually gives you freedom. And I know that that sounds insane, but it, it, it sounds restrictive. But in my opinion, it gives you the freedom that you want. Because once you stop blaming everybody else, your life gets easier. Not instantly easier, but clearer. Because if everything is always somebody else's fault, then your future depends on everybody else changing. And in my opinion, and I'm not going to do it, but that's a terrible way to live. But if you can sit there and go, yeah, I need to work on this, now you have control again. And this doesn't apply to just relationships or business. It applies to everything: money, friendships, health, all of it. And honestly, some of the strongest people I know are the people who got humbled bad by life and learned from it instead of turning bitter. That is very, very much real maturity, not pretending to be perfect online and actually growing. And at the end of the day, I think that our generation struggles with accountability because accountability hurts your ego before it improves your life. And most people would rather protect their ego than improve themselves. And unfortunately, that's the truth. But eventually, life forces accountability on everyone, one way or another. Bad habits catch up, bad decisions catch up, patterns catch up. And honestly, in my opinion, the people that are willing to be brutally honest with themselves usually end up way ahead long term. Not because they're smarter, but it's because they can adjust. They recognize these things and they change these things. So before I end this and go on to the outro, maybe ask yourself, where in life are you avoiding accountability right now? Because that's probably the exact area keeping you stuck. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys listening to another episode of Seth Said It. And if there's something that I can leave you guys with, remember that everybody sees motion, not everyone sees direction. I think that I'm going to go ahead and end it there because I don't think there's really much else that I can say to this point, at least in this episode. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Seth Said It podcast. I am your host, Seth Mills, and I will see you guys next week.